The Sovetsky Soyuz-Class Battleships were a series of planned warships by the Soviet Union before and during World War II. Although none of these ships were completed, their intended roles, the context of their development, and their impact on Soviet naval strategy during the war offer significant insights into the broader narrative of the Soviet Union's military efforts and strategic ambitions during this period. Context and strategic ambitions. In the 1930s, the Soviet Union embarked on an ambitious naval rearmament program as part of its broader goal to become a major global power. This was a period marked by rapid industrialization under Joseph Stalin's rule, and the Soviet leadership recognized that a powerful navy was essential for protecting the nation's expanding interests and securing its vast maritime borders. The Sovetsky Soyuz-Class battleships were conceived within this framework of military modernization and naval expansion. The concept behind the Sovetsky Soyuz-Class battleships was to create a fleet capable of rivaling the major naval powers of the time, particularly the United States, the United Kingdom, and Japan. These battleships were intended to serve as the core of the Soviet Navy, projecting power and deterring potential adversaries. Their construction was part of the Third Five-Year Plan, 1938 to 1942, which prioritized the enhancement of the Soviet Union's military capabilities. Design and symbolism. While the technical specifications of the Sovetsky Soyuz-Class battleships are fascinating, their symbolic importance is perhaps even more significant. These ships were meant to embody Soviet industrial and military prowess. Each of the planned battleships was named after symbols of Soviet power: Sovetsky Soyuz, Soviet Union; Sovetskaya Ukraina, Soviet Ukraine; Sovetskaya Rossiya, Soviet Russia; and Sovetskaya Belarusia, Soviet Belarus. This nomenclature reflects the intended unity and strength of the Soviet state. The construction of these battleships was a bold statement of the Soviet Union's intention to establish itself as a dominant naval power. Despite the Soviet Navy's relative inexperience in battleship construction, the decision to pursue such an ambitious project indicated a high level of confidence in the nation's industrial capabilities and strategic vision. Impact of World War II. The outbreak of World War II dramatically shifted the priorities of the Soviet Union, forcing a reassessment of its naval strategy. The rapid advancement of German forces during Operation Barbarossa in 1941 brought the war to the Soviet Union's doorstep, creating an immediate need for ground and air defenses rather than large-scale naval operations. The invasion led to the suspension of work on the Sovetsky Soyuz-Class battleships. Resources were redirected to more urgent wartime needs, such as the production of tanks, aircraft, and other land-based military equipment. The focus shifted from projecting power through naval dominance to defending the homeland from the German onslaught. This change in priorities underscored the flexibility and pragmatism of Soviet strategic planning during the war. Influence on naval strategy. Although the Sovetsky Soyuz-Class battleships were never completed, their development influenced Soviet naval strategy in several ways. Firstly, the plans and construction efforts highlighted the Soviet Union's aspirations to compete with the world's leading naval powers. This ambition persisted throughout the war and into the Cold War, shaping the development of the Soviet Navy for decades to come. Secondly, the redirection of resources from battleship construction to other military needs during the war demonstrated the importance of adaptability in military strategy. The Soviet Union's ability to shift focus and reallocate resources effectively was a critical factor in its eventual success against Germany. This adaptability became a hallmark of Soviet military strategy and was evident in various aspects of the Soviet war effort. Post-war naval policy. The legacy of the Sovetsky Soyuz-Class battleships extended into the post-war period. Although none of the ships were completed, the experience gained in their design and partial construction informed future Soviet naval projects. The Soviet Union continued to pursue the development of a powerful navy, but with lessons learned from the war, there was a greater emphasis on submarines, cruisers, and other vessels more suited to the Cold War strategic environment. The unfulfilled ambition of the Sovetsky Soyuz-Class battleships also served as a reminder of the limitations and challenges faced by the Soviet Union during a time of immense pressure and conflict. The war had demonstrated the need for a balanced and versatile military force, capable of responding to a wide range of threats and scenarios. This understanding influenced Soviet naval policy in the following decades, leading to a more diverse and strategically nuanced fleet. Cultural and historical significance. The story of the Sovetsky Soyuz-Class battleships is not just one of military and industrial effort but also one of cultural and historical significance. These ships were conceived during a period of intense ideological commitment to the Soviet project, and their planned construction reflected the broader aspirations of Soviet society at the time. The Sovetsky Soyuz-Class battleships came to symbolize both the potential and the limitations of Soviet industrial power. Their construction was a testament to the Soviet Union's ambitions and its willingness to push the boundaries of what was possible. At the same time, their incomplete status serves as a reminder of the harsh realities and shifting priorities brought about by the war. Conclusion. In summary, the Sovetsky Soyuz-Class battleships, despite never being completed, played an important role in the strategic and cultural landscape of the Soviet Union during World War II. They represented the Soviet Union's aspirations to become a leading naval power and highlighted the country's industrial ambitions. The shift in priorities brought about by the German invasion underscored the importance of adaptability and pragmatism in military strategy. The legacy of these planned battleships influenced Soviet naval policy and strategy for years to come, making them a significant, if unrealized, part of the Soviet war effort and military history.